okay, looks like we got a game here. Alright, so we have Wynoval playing black, I'm playing white. Somebody asked me to play the bird earlier. I'm not gonna play the bird, I'm sorry. It's very it's very risky. I'll play E4 though. I'm gonna go for E4. E6, okay, we'll go with the French defense here. I've previously played knight d2 in the challenge. I'm actually going to go for the exchange variation, which is interesting to play if you know the idea. Okay, you leaving pause select? All right, see you later. Glad you tuned in and hope you're enjoying it. So knight c3, bishop e6, okay. It's interesting. It's not a great position for the bishop, but okay. So will he take back with the pawn or with the bishop? Okay, he takes the bishop, or with the bishop. Let's go bishop e3. I once played a 10-game bullet match against the Lancer, lost all 10, but I was objectively winning in 3, but he flagged me. Yeah, he's pretty quick. He's definitely pretty quick. What's his real name? I'm pretty sure his real name's like Graham Horowitz or something like that. Yeah, he's definitely pretty quick. I've played him a lot of games. He gets me on time a good amount, despite me winning, having a better position as well. So, isn't this just the Queen's Gambit without the e-pawn? Yeah, this is pretty close to the Queen's Gambit, honestly. Let's play a3 just to kick this bishop around. Play b4 to kick it around some more. I don't really want to capture the bishop on d5, honestly. We're gonna play. Ooh, let's be careful there. Let's play bishop e2. If I capture the bishop, he takes back with the knight. I have an isolated d-pawn, which I guess is okay for me. But, I don't know. Let's go for it. Let's see what he does. If he takes back with the knight or the queen, okay. Let's play bishop to d3. He can get my bishop. That's fine with me. I'm not complaining. He's probably going to castle. And then I'll castle as well, most likely. Queen e7 is also an interesting. Yeah, Queen e7 is interesting. Crock my arms. I could castle and give up a pawn in exchange for some counterplay. But I'm not sure if it's worth it. If I play queen d2, he plays like bishop f4, which is kind of annoying. This is kind of the downside of taking that bishop on d5. Castles, take, check, move. Castles. Not sure. I think let's go for this. It looks fun. We'll let him grab the bishop and win a pawn. But we have better development. We'll have the open f-file and kingside attacking chances. So with that in mind, isn't the Panov Botvinnik attack variation of the Caro-Kann defense very similar to the Queen's Gambit? It's pretty close, except with the c and the e-pawns off the board. So he's up a pawn. Rook e1 is a big threat, so he needs to castle. Pretty much his only move here. Okay, I'm going to play queen c2, keeping the threats up. Bishop takes h7 as a threat. So queen h6 makes some sense. I also want to play rook, centralize the rook on e1, most likely. Down a pawn, but I feel like it's still okay for me here. Okay, we're still going to centralize the rook. He has to play queen f4 or queen h6. Okay, now we're going to play knight to e5, doing more centralization. Knight e5. Actually, rook e7 is pretty good here. Rook e7, hit the bishop, and then take the b7 pawn next move if he counterattacks us. Now there's going to be a lot of pressure on the f7 square. Bishop c4 probably, double rooks attacking f7. So Despite being down a pawn once again, lots of pressure in my opponent's position, pretty much similar to the previous game. Being down a pawn is really not the end of the world in a lot of chess games, actually. Grandmasters or masters, we sacrifice pawns for any kind of play sometimes. Of course, you don't want to just sacrifice and not know what's going to happen, but... Alright, we're just going to grab the pawn. This knight on b8 can't even develop, or else we'll capture it. It goes here, we capture it. It goes here, we capture it. And if this knight can't develop, that means this rook can't develop, and we're equal in material. Pretty soon I'll just play... like queen c4 at 95, maybe just 95 immediately. Alright, see you later, Vladimir. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, then. That's when I'll be going live again. Okay, plays f6. Now we play bishop to c4 check. Queen c4 was probably better. But knight f7 check. Takes. Takes. Now we're up the exchange. Queen e4 to e8 will be checkmate pretty soon. And he can't even develop the knight still because I just win it. So really nothing he can do to stop this plan. Sacrificing and not knowing what's to follow issue. So you always got to consider the ramifications of your sacrifice. Okay, this is just a free piece. And this is another piece. If he takes back, we have queen e8 checkmate, or pretty much checkmate. Yeah, there's nothing he can do here. We'll just play rook e1. We're threatening queen e8 mate. Play bishop c4, threatening rook f8, checkmate. Nothing, I mean, there's really not anything black can do, of course. Rook f8, mate, next move. Or rook takes h7, checkmate as well. Okay, so it's a double check with the bishop and with the rook, so it's a checkmate there. Alright, well, analyze this one. The opening's really not that bad for him. I think, though, at this point, it does become pretty difficult to play. I'm not sure if taking the pawn was the way to go, despite it looking pretty good for black. The whole downside after all of this is that he has no his queenside development's pretty much not ever happening. I take this pawn, this knight's never going to move, which means this rook's never going to move, and I just play 95 and pile up on f7 pretty soon. So in hindsight, taking the pawn on e3, not the best idea. He should just go ahead and castle. Then develop his knight. He doesn't need to get greedy, which I think is what ends up hurting him here. Is getting greedy, winning the pawn, but having a worse position. And on my side of the board, I'm down a pawn, but my position is very good, even before I win this b7 pawn back. Let's say I didn't take the pawn, and let's say I just went here instead. Knight takes f7 is a big threat. Oops. Rook takes f7. Bishop c4 takes f7. If he takes here, I take this maybe. He retreats. I play bishop c4. Tons of discovered checks about to happen. Black would be in a lot of trouble there, even though I'm down a pawn. So, being down a pawn, not the end of the world by any means. Still going? Yep, still going. Yep. We got about maybe another 45 minutes today.